Hello, I am hashtag tallest man in real estate, and thank you for joining me. I'm a realtor here in San Francisco, and I do some listings in Oakland as well. But wanted to do a report on March or mid March right now, 2021, and wanted to do a snapshot of what's happening in the market. Basically, overall, classic San Francisco, not enough supply to meet the demand. But actually, as the charts I'll show you, supply is actually up and sales are up. Everything's up, a little bit more than what's normal. But the thing is, with the demand, particularly the stock market's going nuts. Obviously, in the Bay Area, a lot of people are tied into the tech companies, and so that's why we're seeing just a lot of homes are getting 10, 15, 20 offers on it. And so it's a little nuts if you're a buyer. Great if you're a seller, though. But let me share my screen and see if I can pull up some charts here. This might take a second. Okay, so this is the monthly newsletter that I do send out. And if anybody wants this, obviously just message me on whatever platform you're seeing this and I can show you here. But wanted to show you, so here's what we're seeing: a 3-month rolling medium house sales prices for February are highlighted. And so you can see here is February this year, last year, the year before that. So you can see that there's an upward trend here. Obviously, what we're seeing right in here as well is, we're hitting all-time highs basically. And again, what a lot of people are realizing in this pandemic is how inadequate their homes are. And so a lot of people are trading up or maybe deciding we're not having roommates anymore and going into one bedrooms. And then the next chart I wanted to show here, this is sales by month. So again, here in January, down in this part, we're actually a lot higher than we normally are in most Januaries. But the thing is, there are just so many buyers out there that have money. A lot of people have just been sitting on cash, not doing anything with it, obviously for the last year, basically, since we've been in this pandemic. The next chart I wanted to show was the condo 3-month rolling average. Again, we did see a spike last year here. Obviously, it's come down a little bit, and a lot of that is more the 1 bedrooms are starting to sit a little bit, but 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms are starting to come back. And so that little dip that we had for those 6 months for all my friends that were trying to time the market, that was definitely the time, because we'll start to see that increase as well. The next one I wanted to show was supply and demand of what's coming up. And so this is interesting because normally in March and April, we usually have about 1,000 units come on. So that's very much with historically usually what's going on. And so it looks like the normal supply is coming, if not a little bit higher than normal. However, just there's so much demand is the problem. The next one I wanted to show was, again, new listings coming on the market. We're right where we normally are in February. We had a lot in September, more than normal. And then the other chart I wanted to show here is active listings on the market. This is interesting too, because what you're hearing all my colleagues talk about is how there's no supply out there. Well, there is. We are starting to see more come on the market. Typically, March and April, May is about the 3 best months of the year if you're a seller. For buyers, it really doesn't matter when you buy, although prices keep going up, as we all know in San Francisco. But as long as the timing's right in terms of your financing in your future, then that's when I always tell people to get into the market. Listing pending sales, again, we're getting up there in terms of what's normal. And so, and then I thought this was interesting too. So most of the sales that we're seeing here are in this 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom area. And so we are starting to see 1-bedrooms not have quite as many sales as we would. But as you can see, probably about 2/3 of the market is at 2 to 3-bedroom. And that's, pretty typical, I'd say, of San Francisco. And one last thing that's really driving this as well is the low interest rates. And so interest rates, although they've spiked up a little bit, you can see how insane that's been happening. And so if you're looking just, basically 3 years ago, if I do my math correctly, we had about a 2% drop or so. And rule of thumb is for every 1% that your interest rate goes down, it's 10% more house you can afford. So an easy example of that is on $1 million house, if the interest rate goes down 1%, you can now afford 1.1. Or in this case, you could afford 1.2 over the last 10 years, or the last 2 years, should I say. So that's very interesting when you look at interest rates. Another reason why it's fueling demand. And then the last chart I wanted to show was mortgage debt service payments as a percentage. I thought this was really interesting because people talk about this bubble. Are we in it? Da, da. We're not. You talk to any economist out there, it doesn't look like there's a housing bubble. The reason being is the amount of debt that people have for the mortgage is so low in terms of their monthly payments compared to their income and the way that their house is going up. And that was what's happened in the subprime boom. People are just over leveraged. Their equity was maybe only 5%, or a lot of times they owed more than their house was worth. There was a recent study, and I forget the name of it, but I think they said the average homeowner has 50% equity in their home versus back in 2006, 2007, it was roughly like 5%. So completely different scenario. But hopefully that helps you guys understand the market. As I said, this is March 2020, and I'm hashtag tallest man in real estate. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.